Insurance rates have been going up consistently over the past 5 years due to several factors affecting the market. Most people have felt this shift, whether it's auto, home, or business insurance. And it hasn't just been small increases. In many cases, it's been pretty noticeable. This is something I've seen across multiple states and different types of policies. On this channel, I share insurance tips, tricks, and news you can use to make better decisions about your coverage. A big part of what's been happening is that carriers have tightened both rates and underwriting due to increasing weather claims along with rising labor and material costs. Underwriting has become stricter, certain risks have become harder to place, and in some cases companies have pulled out of entire states or eliminated offerings for certain types of business altogether. So overall, we've been in a market where rates were rising, options were becoming more limited, and flexibility just wasn't what it used to be. But right now, we are starting to see some real shifts in the market to a softer market. And when the insurance market starts to soften, two things happen. First, rates typically start to come down. And second, markets begin to open up, making it easier to insure things that were harder to place before. Now we're starting to see that shift more meaningfully. From a pricing standpoint, we're seeing rates stabilize, and in many cases, base rates are actually starting to come down. Not across the board, but definitely in a way that's noticeable. I'm seeing risks that may not have had many options before, now starting to receive more competitive pricing. At the same time, we're also seeing markets open back up. That means more carriers are willing to look at risks again, and more flexibility in underwriting. And this is especially important for anything that may have been difficult to insure over the past couple of years. This is where it really starts to get interesting, especially on the commercial side. Some business types that were very hard to place or very expensive to insure are starting to have more options open up again. And in certain states, we're seeing carriers come back into segments they had previously stepped away from. So, businesses that may have had very limited options before are now starting to see more availability again. We're also seeing more activity from alternative markets. These are companies that can often move faster and operate with more flexibility compared to traditional admitted carriers, partly due to fewer regulatory constraints. Because of that, in some situations, we're seeing prices come in more competitively, especially in the short term. So, there are opportunities showing up in places where there really weren't many not that long ago. Now, what does this actually mean for you? For homeowners and drivers, it means you should not automatically assume your current rate is still the best option. There may be more competitive pricing available now than there were even a year ago. And it also means you may have more flexibility in terms of coverage options than you did before. You may have had to reduce coverage to meet your budget, and now you may be able to add some of that protection back in. For business owners, this can be even more impactful. If you've had a hard time finding coverage, or if your premiums increase significantly, it's definitely worth revisiting. Things that were declined before or priced very aggressively may now have better options available. Now that can make a meaningful difference in both cost and coverage. From a bigger picture standpoint, what we're really seeing is a shift back towards competition. And when competition increases, that typically leads to better options for consumers. So what should you do with this? This is a really good time to review your policy. Make sure your coverage still makes sense for your situation. Also, make sure you're getting the best value for what you're paying, because that may have changed. Whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, if you haven't reviewed your coverage in the past year or two, now might be a good time to take another look. So to recap, rates have increased over the past few years and the market has been more restrictive. But now we're starting to see some real movement. Pricing is stabilizing and in many cases improving. And markets are opening back up, creating more options, which means there are more opportunities now than we've seen in a while. If you're not sure where things stand with your current policy, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. And if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'm always happy to help. Thanks for watching. I'm Keri Lyn Simmons with Vista Mountain Insurance, and I'll see you in the next video.